We're going to jump out to the Polaris Fund Center phone line and visit with former Texas A&M, former Green Bay Packer receiver Terrence Murphy. He has a youth football camp coming up on Saturday, April the 27th. Is this the fourth one, T. Murph?
Fourth annual Terrence Murphy camp.
So tell me about starting that. What led you to begin with to start this camp in 2021?
Yeah, I would say I just had a lot of times people think they know you, but they really don't. You just do a couple of interviews, but when you really get to meet someone, you know what their heart is. And if people really knew my journey growing up with a single mom, humble beginnings, being a two-star recruit, I've always kind of been overlooked and kind of undervalued, and I've always just worked my way up, man. Even when I first became a real estate broker here in town, everybody was telling me it's not going to work. There's too many agents. I became the number one agent, not only in this town, but in, top 1% in the whole United States. So I just kind of have always loved the underdog story. And I know these kids right now with NILs and training, every time you turn around, somebody's charging the kids. They're trying to leverage them to make money off of them. And my vision for the camp was to bring, youth football, which is something I'm passionate about, but also my faith and my finances. So kind of put them all into one. And there is no camp like it anywhere in the United States that I've heard of. So, yeah, that was the vision.
Well, I love the fact that certainly you bring them there for football, but you teach them a little bit about finances. You talk to them about faith, and you have a pretty good captive audience for one day, don't you?
I do. In 3 years, we've had 1,600 plus volunteers and people and attendees attend. So this year, on our fourth year, we'll probably go over 2,000 people in 4 years that have attended this camp. And, my volunteers have shown up every year, people from the community. And I'll tell you, you think the kids are the only ones getting something out of it, man? I'm looking around, and there's volunteers crying. There's volunteers that come up to me at the end and say, this changed my life, just being here and helping be a part of it. So it's making a big impact for sure, and it's something that God gave me the vision and the idea, and I'm just following it.
What are the ages, T. Murph?
Ages are 8 to 18.
Okay.
8 to 18, girls and guys alike, and it's been fun to kind of watch it blossom. And we've been every year fine-tuning it, trying to find how we can make it better and better and better and make it a better experience. So we did it in East Texas the first year in my high school back in East Texas. Then the last 2 years we did it at Brad's Christian. And then this year it'll be at Allen Academy.
So how many youngsters do you expect to be there next Saturday?
It depends. You just never know. But I think between 400 and 500. I think we cap it at 500.
Nice.
And every year it's been in that number between 400 and 500. And what happens is, it starts filling up, and then you kind of get people who don't make it and people who just kind of show up and didn't sign up. But, man, we welcome everybody to be there. I will say we're looking for more, sponsors because obviously it's a nonprofit. So we do all this at no cost to the kids. And, I put up a lot of my own money, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, any of the sponsors, any of the people that can donate to the camp, last year we had 100 and something kids walk out of the aisle, come to the front, and give their life to Christ.
Wow.
At a football camp.
That's very cool. And I want to reiterate again, in case they missed it, this camp is free for kids. Free.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. If folks that are listening, Terrence, that own businesses that would love to be part of this, and this is a huge community deal. I'm sure there are a few kids that will come from out of town, yes?
Yeah, mainly, yeah. I've had people coming all the way from San Antonio and Houston. I have people come from Dallas, Waco. But obviously it's a Bryan College Station event. We have kids from Caldwell, Navasota, Franklin, those different areas.
Yep.
Yeah, this is an Aggie-land event. I strategically put it here for a reason. As long as God has me here. Now, I do get a lot of pressure from other places like in Houston and Dallas saying, hey, why don't you bring the camp here? But I'm just, right now my heart is set on Aggieland, and then one day, God may call me to take it somewhere else.
How can these business owners get in touch with you if they want to help fund this camp?
More than anything, I would tell any business owner, any person at the sound of my voice, they may think, well, I can't give 10 grand or 15 grand.
Yeah.
Man, give 50, give 100. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because each one of these kids are coming. We feed them all day, and we know how expensive it is to feed teenage boys. Let's just stop right there. If we don't talk about anything else, we just talk about feeding them. We know they can eat a house.
Yeah.
So we're feeding teenage boys all day. Obviously, breakfast, snacks, lunch. Hydrating them, and then they all get a goodie bag or a backpack. Everybody gets a Bible, everybody gets a shirt, and they get some other stuff. So we're throwing in all this stuff, and then obviously the facilities. And so, man, we're bringing in worship teams and worship pastors, and so it's a lot to put on in one day.
Yeah.
So anything that you can give will help pay for any of the babies that show up, whether they're underprivileged or not. We don't turn anybody away. Everybody's free.
Give me a sense of kind of what the schedule will be as you go throughout the day.
Yeah, we change it up every year just to kind of keep it fresh for the kids.
Yeah.
This year we're doing a whole new surprise and setup, so I can't really get into much of it, but I'll kind of breeze over it. The first thing, which is really cool, is when the kids sign up, we have a DJ playing live out there when they get out of the car, and we have about 100 volunteers, like welcome them, bringing them in. I still say at the end of the year, at the end of the camp, I'm still blown away at how we disperse 400 to 500 kids in cars and get them in and out. I can't. And it's like magic. But, I would say we bring them in, we see them, we get them signed up, we do a little photo autograph session. And then this year, usually we go right to the classroom. We get right to the finance piece. This year we're going to be talking about NIL. And what does NIL mean for athletes? How can they leverage it? Because, this is still new for us. They don't really know. What do I do if somebody gives me $10,000 at 18 or $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that. And then, but this year we're going straight to the field. So we got some really cool changes this year. And over the last couple of years, we had 27 D1 and NFL guys as coaches at the camp.
That is cool. That's very cool. You mentioned you've already gotten calls from other cities. Do you envision that this is something maybe you can teach others to do, T. Murph, in their own communities? Yeah,
I think so. I think, if that's what God asked me to do in the future, I think it's a unique camp.
Yes.
There's never been one like it. It came to me in a dream, literally, from God. Like a lot of my other ideas and businesses. And I'm a creator. I love creating stuff. And so when I first went to people and said, all right, I'm doing football, finance, and faith, people, even my wife, my director of ops, they looked at me like that just doesn't make sense. You're going to talk about finance and football and faith in one. And now, man, I feel in this town, I see people walking around with the camp shirts on, with the logo and the brand. Sometimes I know who they are, sometimes I don't. And so I'm just seeing it kind of permeate throughout this community. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest compliments I got, one of the kids I ended up mentoring was Arrington Maiden. He was the quarterback at College Station High. And he came and introduced himself to me when I went and spoke to the high school 3-4 years ago. And I've been just pouring into that kid. And he said, T, I want you to know this, man. Look at these text messages from some of my teammates that came to your camp 3 years ago. He said, look at how they're living their lives outside of the camp. Now, this is a 17-year-old kid showing me this.
Right.
He's like, I want you to see the impact that that one-day camp has made on their life and how they are now being young adults and young men outside of the camp. There's one thing to be at the camp and be in that environment. Another thing that you can go out and live it. And that was really impactful when you showed me that.
How rewarding is that for you when you hear stories like that?
I think as people, we tend to gravitate towards what we can do better and what we may need to fix, and we don't really do a great job of celebrating what we have done. And I was talking to Miss Carolyn Lohman at Champions Council this weekend, and she said, Terrence, I just want you to know, like, I'm so proud of you. I was standing there with her and then R.C. Slocum, and she said, you created not only a great life for yourself, but you made an amazing impact on this community. So, you know, you don't think about it. I've been here since I was 18, and I'm now 41, and I've done a lot in this community. I think I've done now over 500 community events. I've done a lot here, and, you know, not just only on the field, but in the community. So I think you tend to overlook that because you're just going, and you're trying to grow the businesses and you're trying to do the next thing. But it takes those moments like Miss Carolyn Loman or Arrington Maiden showing me those text messages to realize that, man, God is good.
Let's talk about parents who are listening, kids who want to come. How do they sign up? And I'm assuming it's through your website, TerrenceMurphy.com.
Yeah, TerrenceMurphy.com. But now the Google algorithm has started ranking this camp because it's getting so many searches. You can literally just put in Terrence Murphy Camp in Google and it comes up.
Yes.
That's how.
That's how I did it.
Yeah. I mean, it's popping up now, and you know, the cool thing is we've been capturing these last 3-4 years, and so we have recaptured the videos and we have photos.
Yeah.
So now people can see 400 or 500 people in one day at a camp, and so it makes sense to them now. So yeah, if you guys want to sign up as volunteers, we need more volunteers. I've really been pushing to get more college kids involved. So we got some college organizations that are going to be coming out and serving this year. And then I'm pushing for more parents to make sure they get their kids out of the house. It's a one-day camp that will make a long-term impact on them. And then obviously any businesses, any individuals who want to donate, it's a nonprofit, so obviously tax deductible. And we welcome any blessings. And last thing, if you can't do anything, you can't show up and serve, you can't give, we just ask that you pray for the kids and you pray for the camp.
TerrenceMurphy.com, TerrenceMurphy, TerrenceMurphy.com. The camp is Saturday, April 27th, 7:45 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it is absolutely free for kids 8 to 18. T-Murph, thanks for doing this. Wish you the best, and I know it's going to be a big week.
Thanks, Chip. Yeah, we're 2 weeks out, and I just would encourage everybody. I've actually been going around speaking to the schools. So I'm beating the streets right now.
Very cool.
I spoke to College Station High, Bryan High. I've been going to the middle schools, and I'm hugging on the kids. I ended up getting sick last week because I'm shaking so many little grubby hands right now. But, man, I'm out in the community, so I don't want anybody to ever say, man, he forgot where he came from, or he's so big now he forgot. I'm out hugging on these babies and loving on them. And I just ask that everybody show up, man. This is for the community for sure.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Chip, for highlighting the camp, man, highlighting the Terrence Murphy camp.